Hi, I'm John and this is Foxlow Academy.
Becoming a professional photographer literally changed my life.
So today I want to answer a question that we get asked all the time on TikTok, on Facebook, on social media across the board, and that is by other photographers asking us how to get into boudoir. So getting into boudoir is a big step, whether you're a newbie to the photography world, whether you're just learning your camera, or whether you are already an established portrait photographer looking to diversify and enter the world of boudoir photography. Boudoir photography is one of the most rewarding things you can possibly do. The reason that it became such a passion of mine is because I saw the effect that it had on my clients' lives. I would get messages from clients who had been for shoots telling me that they had started a new job, that they'd left a bad relationship, that they'd started a new relationship, that they'd worn a bikini on the beach for the first time in 20 years. There are so many positive aspects of being a boudoir photographer. However, it's also a big responsibility, and there's many things that you need to do in preparation for getting into the world of boudoir photography. So the first one kind of goes without saying, but you need to master your craft. You need to learn how to use your camera, how to use your settings. You need to know what your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO all are and what they do and how to use them both creatively and fundamentally. You also need to understand your lighting as well. And if you're already a portrait photographer, you need to have a play with your lighting and try some different lighting techniques, because lighting for a family portrait session is very different to lighting for boudoir. But essentially the key things are master your craft, know your gear, and know your lighting. Once you've got all of those down, you need to start thinking about posing. Because posing for boudoir, again, is very different to posing for anything else. You need to work on posing individual people, because presumably that is what you'll be focusing on, unless you want to get into couples boudoir, but that's a whole different video. So working on poses that accentuate shape and form, enhance curves. What you don't want to be is the boudoir photographer who hides plus size clients behind a sofa or behind a blanket and just doesn't know what to do with them. You need to come up with a set of poses, maybe 5 or 10 different poses that you know you can do with any client, no matter their age, their shape or their size. Everyone knows it's easy to photograph a skinny 21-year-old who's done a bit of modelling, knows a bit about what she's doing, but when you've got a real person who's scared, anxious, doesn't know what to do, you need to have some poses that can be your go-tos that you can use for everyone. The best way to come up with these poses or to find them is to search for inspiration online. You can look through other photographers who you admire's work, look on social media, find photographers who you admire, look through their work and see what inspiration you can take. I'm not suggesting you copy poses exactly, because you don't want to just copy another photographer, you want to develop your own style, but get yourself some starting points that you can work with and go from there. Once you've found some poses you like, you need to practice doing them yourselves. And you need to figure out how you actually get yourself into these poses, because then you need to think about how you explain it to someone else. Half the art of being a photographer, and particularly being a boudoir photographer, is being able to explain poses and get your client to understand exactly what you want them to do. There's nothing worse than watching a photographer who doesn't know what they're doing, trying to explain to a client who doesn't know what they're doing, and just ending up in this awkward scenario where you're like, no, that's not working. You really want to be positively encouraging your clients, showing them what to do, and then telling them how amazing they're doing. So once you've mastered your craft, learned your camera, figured out your lighting, and come up with some posing inspiration and some ideas you want to try, first thing to do is to set up some test shoots. Now, ideally you want to do this with someone who you know, someone who trusts you, someone who will be comfortable and understands that you're figuring out how to do this and that you're trying out new poses and new ideas. So someone who'll be patient with you and kind of let you experiment and go with the flow and not be too awkward. A good idea for this can be a friend, a sister, a family member, someone who knows and trusts you and is happy to kind of let you experiment and kind of fumble your way through the first couple of photo shoots. Also, these people don't need to be wearing lingerie. They can just wear a bodycon or a jumpsuit or something tight and fitted, so you can still see shape and form, because you do need to be able to do that, but they don't have to be in lingerie for you to get those first few test shots when you're just testing out poses. So once you've done some test shoots with people who know you and are willing to kind of let you experiment and practice and try out some of the poses, hopefully you've developed a little repertoire of some shots that you know look really good. At that point you can start doing some time for print work. So a good thing to do is look on sites such as Model Mayhem or Facebook groups for aspiring models who are willing to share their time in exchange for some photos from photographers who are still trying out and learning their craft. So that way you get to experience photographing someone you don't know, probably in lingerie at this point, and they get some images of themselves that they can share for their modelling portfolio. If you can get 5 or 6 shoots under your belt, then you've got a good experience. Hopefully by that time you're actually coming up with a good repertoire of poses that you know will work and that you can do with different people. You can explain to them so they clearly understand what you're asking them to do, and you can also start to build up a portfolio that you can use to advertise your services on social media and via your website. By this point you should be feeling fairly confident that if you have a paying client in front of you, you can do a photo shoot for them and create a set of killer images. You don't need to shoot a million different images for your first clients. If you can do a shoot and end up with 20 to 30 really good sellable photos for each client, you're on your way and you can start charging for your shoots. Also, each pose will normally get you 2 or 3 different great shots. So you may do the full length and then do a close-up and then even an alternative angle, which means that when you're showing your client their photos, even if you've only got 10 poses that you know how to do well and know how to explain, you've probably got 30 plus photos that you can show them. So by this point, you're ready to go. You've got a portfolio of images featuring different women. You see a lot of new photographers launch and their websites all just feature 1 or 2 people because they've done a test shoot with their sister or their friend and gone, right, I'm going to set up my website. However, you want your website to show a diverse selection of people with different looks, different ages, different shapes and different sizes, just to show the versatility. So it's time to get set up with your social media, your website, get yourself up and running as a brand. Now, these are subjects for a whole nother video, but this is kind of a step-by-step how-to. So you've created a website, you've created your social media, you're showing a selection of different poses with different women in different outfits, in different styles, with different lighting, and you can start promoting your work. A good way to get your first clients in the door is to do a model call. So with a model call, what you're doing is not asking for models specifically. You're asking for real clients who are interested in having a boudoir photo shoot to get a discounted or even free photo shoot with you in the very early days, in exchange for them allowing you to share their photos, further increasing your portfolio, but also offer them a discount on any images they want to purchase. It just means that this client is getting a reduced price on their session fee, reducing some of the fear of doing it because it's costing them less money, and you're also giving them a discount on the photos that they love and want to purchase. The win-win of this is that they get that and you get more images to share, as well as the opportunity to actually sell some photos. Once you've got a few clients in on a model call, you should start to see the ball rolling. People should start seeing your work. Hopefully you're creating great images. Other clients are relating to it. You're sharing these everywhere on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on your website. You're shouting about your services. Hopefully your clients are raving about their experience with you and the ball is rolling, and you should start seeing more clients from there. So that's step by step how to get into boudoir. I know it's a very basic, simplified version of it, but this video is the roadmap from starting out through to actually launching your boudoir business. I hope it's been helpful. If you've enjoyed this video or you've got any great tips from it, please do share it, like it, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. All right, take care. Bye-bye.